Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Giggity, real name is Mark, and in today's video, we're going to be ranking the top 20 best overall attachments in Call of Duty history. I want to make it crystal abundantly clear right at the beginning of this video that this is just a generalization. We're not talking about any specific COD attachments, so they're just going to be bunched up into one. For example, the modern Call of Duties have 5 different suppressors with all different names that do all different things, or 700 different laser sights with different names for different things. When we talk about them, they're just going to be called extended mags, okay, or laser sight. We're not getting into these freaking MW19 Black Ops Cold War Vanguard. They had 7 billion different red dot sights. If we talk about a red dot sight, we're just calling it red dot sight, all right, to make it easy. We're not going to go into specifics of which exact named item it is in which call. We're just generalizing is what I'm trying to say. Media of the day is Deadpool 2. I think it's Deadpool 1 is better for sure, but Deadpool 2 is still very, very funny. Very, very good movie. Go watch it if you haven't already. Do not watch it around family or young ones, obviously, but it is a pretty funny movie. Without further ado, let's get right into it though with the top 20 best attachments ever in Call of Duty history. And coming in at the number 20 spot is an attachment that I never use it until I need it, and so it has to make the list. The ACOG. The ACOG, or I guess in modern day CODs, is any 3x scope or 4x scope, 5x scope, whatever. The ACOG, the 3 to 5x scopes in COD history. Again, it's a site that I'm never using. Plain and simple, I don't use the ACOG that much until I need my long shots, until I'm on a map that's way too large, until I'm playing COD 4 with the M40A3, and the only attachment that actually makes sense to put on the gun is the ACOG. It comes in handy when you need it. It's not an attachment that I actually use and put on every one of my classes, but when you do need it and when you are going to use it, it's clutch. And coming in at 19th place, it's been in a couple of CODs, but let's be honest, the Black Ops 2 one is it's the best one, the Target Finder. The Target Finder is another optic, it's another sight in this game. It's sort of like a holographic sight, so it's like a 1.5 to 2x sight. It zooms in a little bit, not unlike the red dot sights that don't zoom in at all. It zooms in a little bit, but the main focus, the main gimmick of the sight is obviously that it outlines your opponents when you're aiming down the sights. It tells you that there's somebody in your sights, which it sounds stupid to somebody that doesn't play Call of Duty. It's well, why would you need to see it? Why would you need the sight to tell you there's somebody there? You're just use your eyes. But it does help. It helps drastically. It is a very, very interesting sight. It only can be on certain weapons, slower weapons like LMGs that you're going to be planning on holding down long lines of sights with anyways. So that's why it's here at 19th place, because it's not applicable for every weapon, but it is still really good. And coming in at 18th place is a very, very fun one. There are some attachments out there where they're really, really strong, and then there are some attachments out there where they're just so much fun. The tactical knife. The tactical knife is obviously a knife that you hold in your left hand while holding your pistol with the right hand. And it allows you to pretty much have the lunge of a regular melee weapon while still also having your pistol in your hand. You don't have to swap to your melee weapon. It's actually clutch, is what I'm trying to say. Recent CODs, modern CODs, they haven't had the tactical knife as an option really for a very long time. But back in the day, if you wanted to run just a pistol for whatever reason it is, the tactical knife was one of the best attachments to put on that gun, hands down, because it allowed you to be so much more aggressive and get kills at point blank ranges where otherwise the pistol maybe wouldn't do that great. And coming in at 17th place, this one is specifically for Warzone, and that's the reason why it's getting here at 17th. Variable zoom. The variable zoom scopes, again, it's just another scope, it's another optic, obviously, just like the ACOG. But the variable zoom pretty much allows you to zoom in. A typical COD's sniper rifle scope will have around a 6 times zoom. 4 to 6 times zoom is what I would say the typical stock scope on the gun is. Well, the variable zoom allows you to zoom in up to 8 times, or even in some cases, some extreme cases, 20 times the zoom, which is insane and very, very necessary for Warzone purposes. And also it is another sight, and the sights are ones that I think that are just always going to be pretty lower on the list, but it is still really, really clutch. And coming in at 16th place, again, there's 7 billion different kinds of these, but the muzzle brake. Yeah, the muzzle brake first originated in COD Ghosts, I want to say, and pretty much what it does, the muzzle brake has always done, is just controls your recoil for you. Plain and simple, 90% of these Call of Duty freaking YouTuber meta builds, try this meta build to get 2 nukes in 1 team deathmatch game. A lot of them are going to be running a muzzle brake to turn your gun into an absolute laser. The muzzle brake is it's just so strong when it comes to controlling recoil. Obviously, Call of Duty is a first-person shooter game. You need to control the recoil, and if you don't need to do it, the game will do it for you. Well, that's obviously better, and the muzzle brake helps it with that. And coming in at 15th place, such an interesting one. I never run it except for there's certain guns where it's just insane. The high caliber, for those who don't know, increases headshot damage, and all it is just different bullets. That's literally all it is. Your gun is now shooting bullets that do the exact same damage to the body, exact same damage to the legs, to the arms, to the chest, to the stomach, to the groin, to the ass, to the back, to the rear of your legs. Doesn't matter, your foot, your hand. But it does increase damage to the head. And when camo grinding, if you're doing a COD that has headshots for the camos, high caliber is obviously really clutch for that. But also, there are certain guns where the high caliber, like, makes them 10 times better. Weapons that have a lot of recoil, weapons that are going to recoil headshot anyways, high caliber might be a smart idea. And coming in at 14th place, another one of those attachments that is an optic, the red dot sight. The red dot, I mean, it's obvious. The red dot sight or the ELO sight. The ELO sight obviously being better than the red dot sight, but still, they're the same exact thing pretty much. They have no zoom. They're 1x zooms. They don't zoom in at all when you aim down sights, but they just give you a nice little red dot. It's iconic, and on every gun that has bad iron sights, you will run a red dot sight and it'll be clutch. It is just, it's always good. The red dot sight, like, no one's ever going to complain about having a red dot sight on a gun. You know what I mean? Unless, I guess, the iron sights are that good. I mean, we're talking like Grau 5.56 iron sights, but besides that, the red dot sight is iconic. Now, the reason why I'm not putting any higher is it is, at the end of the day, an optic. And again, there are some guns that have just such good iron sights that there's no reason to run it in the first place, but it is still really good. And 13th place, this is a guilty pleasure pick for sure, but I'm putting it here anyways. Select fire. Select fire, literally what it does is changes the fire rate of a gun, allows semi-automatic weapons to be shot in full auto, or full auto weapons to be shot in 3-round burst, or 3-round burst weapons to be shot full auto, or semi-auto. It changes what the firing rate is of the gun, is pretty much what I'm saying. Nowadays, there's like a ton of different attachments, or they call them like jack variants or jack attachments or aftermarket attachments, and people like go crazy and act like it's like this big work, as if Black Ops 2 didn't have select fire attachments for every one of the guns in the game. Like, people are like, whoa, look at this, look how much work they're giving us. No, they're just giving us select fire attachments for some guns. Nonetheless, I'm getting off topic here. Select fire, in my opinion, is clutch because I hate using semi-auto weapons and 3-round burst weapons. 12th place, man, oh man, dual wield. Dual wield is just perfect. Dual wield, I don't think I need to explain this to anybody out there, but what dual wield does, allows you to hold two of whatever gun it is that is equipped with that dual wield. Most of the time, it's going to be obviously a pistol, because you can hold a pistol in one hand and fire it with one hand, and so you can hold a pistol in the left hand and fire it with the left hand as well. But sometimes they even allow you to dual wield shotguns or submachine guns, and at that point, it becomes insane. And then you're just running around the map. Now, obviously, the downside to dual wield is you have to be like pressed right up against them because you have hip fire spread in the game, so you can't just like fire at them from miles away. As dual wield, it's not going to hit them, and so it does destroy that, but it absolutely makes the weapon a demon up close. It was also worth mentioning, I forgot to mention it, but it's also worth mentioning that dual wield is also just one of those attachments that's just a ton of fun. You know what I mean? Like, even if it wasn't that good, it's still fun to use. 11th place is going to be going to the extended barrel. The extended barrel, or long barrel, whatever you want to call it in COD games. Nowadays, again, every COD has 15 different barrels available to them, but pretty much what they all do and all what the extended barrel, long barrel is known for is increasing the damage range. And that is just good, especially on certain maps and in war zone situations, ground war situation, modern day ground war, not classic ground war where it was just regular 6v6 maps but 9v9. No, like modern ground war where it's pretty much plays like Battlefield. Gate maps, big maps, and war zone and stuff like that. The extended barrel, the long barrels, the damage range increased barrels are a necessity. Back in the day, they weren't as good because maps were small. You know what I mean? You didn't need an extended barrel. You weren't fighting at range that often. But nowadays, they're necessary. 10th place is kind of the opposite of the extended barrel, as a matter of fact, where back in the day, these were dominant, but nowadays you don't really see them that much anymore. The underbarrel grenade launchers. Yeah, underbarrel grenade launchers back in the day, the noob tube, that's what they were called back then, were so dominant that they were called the noob tube. They got a name, they got a nickname because people were just so annoyed of going up against them. How often nowadays do you see people using underbarrel grenade launchers? I feel like they're just so uncommon now, because they just don't work that well anymore. Back in the day, they were just disgusting. Now everyone just runs flak jacket, and even if they don't run flak jacket, the explosive range there of the underbarrel grenade launchers is just too weak. It's unfortunate, but back they definitely made their mark on COD history for sure, especially in the MW2 days, so it deserves 10th place, but I do wish they were a little bit better in the modern day. And coming in at 9th place, rapid fire. Rapid fire, I guess you can kind of say, is similar to select fire, and to be honest, you're kind of right. It just changes the fire rate of a weapon. But I do think they're named different things. They are different attachments in every game that they're in, so I do classify them as different as well. Also, they're not really the same if you think about it. Select fire allows you to change the firing order of a gun. Like, if it's full auto, it turns into 3-round burst or semi-auto. If it's 3-round burst, rapid fire, literally all it does is just increases the fire rate, which obviously is just insane. Why would you not ever want a increased fire rate? Every gun out there can benefit from having an increased fire rate. There's no downside to having an increased fire rate. Putting rapid fire on pretty much any gun in the game makes it better. It's one of those attachments that's just so freaking good. And coming in at 8th place, it's going to be going to the flip mags, or the dual mags, whatever you want to call them. The mags where that drastically increase your reload times. It pretty much cuts it in half on most guns, and it's very, very decent. Now, there is an argument to be made, though, and I agree with this argument, as a matter of fact, that the flip mags are kind of pointless if you just had more ammo in the mag in the first place. If you see where I'm going with this, and then you know, but I don't want to spoil it for those who don't. But flip mags are kind of just a worse version of another attachment that does a very, very similar thing to it, but they are still very good. If it wasn't for that other attachment, I think this would be one of the best attachments in COD history. And coming in at 7th place is going to be going to the stock. The stock is just, in my opinion, is kind of a necessity at this point, because I understand, like, so what the stock does, for those who don't know, is it increases your movement speed when you're aiming down sights and stuff like that. In the modern CODs, some of them even will allow you to, like, aim down sights faster or sprint to fire faster. Like, there's some other things, some other bonuses to them nowadays too, but back in the day, the OG thing, the thing that the stock is mostly known for is increasing your speed, your movement speed while aiming down sights. Every gunfight you get into in Call of Duty, 90% of gunfights you get into in Call of Duty are going to be aim down sights. Being able to strafe back and forth while aiming down sights faster is a massive bonus, and the stock helps you do that. And coming in at 6th place, as much as I freaking hate it, and I personally never use it, there's no denying the fact that the thermal scope is probably the best optic in Call of Duty history. It's just so cancerous to go up against. I hate every second of it. I can't stand people that use the thermal scope. But there's no denying the fact that it's insane. Because why is it insane, Mark? Why is it insane? Because it outlines the enemy like the target finder we were talking about earlier, but can also see through smoke. So all you gotta do, literally all you gotta do, pop an LMG, put a thermal scope on it, take 2 smokes with you, maybe even put a perk on that allows you to regenerate those smokes over time. Go to B flag domination, throw a smoke down a B flag, aim down sights with the thermal scope. No one can see you, you can see all of them, you get a bunch of free kills. Thermal scope is overpowered. It's the best optic in COD history in my opinion, but I freaking hate it. And coming in at 5th place, I love this one, especially in modern CODs. I feel like this one's getting so much better. The laser sight. The laser sight back in the day, well, what it's always done, has decreased your hip fire spread, which is obviously perfect. Being able to hip fire and be more accurate while hip firing is a benefit no matter which way you look at it, obviously. But nowadays, it's getting even better to the point where it's now starting to increase sprint to fire speeds, increase recoil control, increase aim down sight speeds. Laser sights are starting to be like a necessity on almost every gun that you run now. I feel like I'm always running a laser sight, which is crazy. Back in the day, it really wasn't. Like Black Ops 2, when the laser sight first came out, I wasn't running the laser sight, man. Yeah, no one really was. It wasn't really worth it. Nowadays, it's all over the place. The laser sight is definitely becoming one of the best attachments in COD history, I would say. As well as 4th place. Well, it's not even becoming one of the best attachments in COD history. It always has been one of the best attachments in COD history. 4th place is going to the quick draw, or the grips, the handle grips, whatever you want to call them. Not foregrips, not the barrel grips, but the actual like handle grips there. Yeah, no matter what quick draw does, for those who don't know, which literally just increases your ADS speeds, your sprint to fire speeds, your slide to fire speeds, dive to fire speeds, whatever it may be. It increases movement on the gun, plain and simple. That's all it does. And no matter what gun you're using, it will benefit from that. Modern day COD is getting even crazier because obviously modern day Call of Duty games are getting even more and more fast paced. So if you're not fast paced to keep up with that, you're going to fall behind. So putting on a quick draw grip on almost every single one of your guns is pretty much a necessity in the big 2.6. And coming in at 3rd place, I mean, this attachment, the foregrip. The foregrip, for those who don't know, is pretty much like the what was it we were talking about earlier? The muzzle brake, but just better. The foregrip controls recoil for you. It helps with recoil control. But in a lot of the foregrips, at least in modern day, they not only will control recoil for you, they will like drastically control recoil for you. And on top of that, they will also help with ADS speeds and help with its movement speeds and stuff like that. The foregrip is to thank for the reason why a lot of guns that used to weren't that good are good, if that makes any sense. There's a lot of guns out there where they had too much recoil, and if it wasn't for the foregrip, think about the Scorpion Evo in Black Ops 2, the MSMC in Black Ops 2. If it wasn't for the foregrip for those guns wouldn't have been that good because they had too much recoil, and the foregrip made them manageable. The foregrip is legendary, it's iconic, it's ran on every single gun pretty much. But these last two are literally ran on every single gun, no matter what. 2nd place is going to be going to the extended mags. I guess nowadays there is a slight downside to the extended mags, because nowadays extended mags make it so that your reload speed takes a little bit longer. But you just have more rounds in the mag. It's just this is what I was talking about earlier with the flip mags. Why run the flip mags when you could just run the extended mags? Extended mags literally just allows you to have more rounds, to make more mistakes, or to get more kills without having to reload. It's just, they're just iconic. I don't think there's any gun in COD history where I'm not running the extended mags if it's an option. At least I guess maybe not LMGs. Like, you wouldn't want to run LMGs extended mags, because who cares? And I guess some extended mags in modern CODs, they do hurt the gun too much with movement speed and reload speeds and stuff like that, so you wouldn't run those ones. But that's about it. I feel like everyone probably knew this was coming, but yeah, obviously first place, obviously the best attachment in COD history that we've ever had is, of course, a suppressor. The number one thing that you learn about Call of Duty within your first year of playing the game is to check your damn minimap, to look at your minimap. Keep looking up, keep poking up at your minimap. It's one of the first things they teach you to get better at Call of Duty, is really rely on your minimap. As long as you've ever watched one single video on Call of Duty tips and tricks on how to get better, you'll know that you should be looking at your minimap all the time. Because in Call of Duty, when you shoot a gun, you have a red dot that shows up on the minimap for the opponents. Well, the suppressor gets rid of that when you shoot your gun. I mean, there is downsides to the suppressor for sure. It's the reason why you don't see suppressors on shotguns. You don't see suppressors on sniper rifles, because it can hurt the damage range sometimes. And so for one-shot weapons, you actually don't want to run a suppressor. And so again, shotguns and sniper rifles, they won't see suppressors. But any fully automatic weapon, any semi-automatic weapon is going to run a suppressor. There's no downside to it. In modern day CODs, they've made them even stronger with things like the suppressor obviously keeping off the minimap, but also helping with damage range, which is insane, by the way, because that was kind of the whole downside to the suppressor back in the day, was that it would hurt damage range. Some of them even help with like recoil control. The suppressors are insane. They're the most overpowered attachments in COD history. There's no gun in COD history that I play with besides one-shot snipers, one-shot shotguns, that I don't put a suppressor on. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's video, going over the top 20 best attachments in Call of Duty history. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Let me know what reviews you'd like to see in the comment section down below. Let me check the links in the description for any of my social medias or any of my other YouTube channels or any of that great mumbo jumbo. And thank you guys so much for watching. Tomorrow's video is going to be episode number 7. Yeah, 7, on the Gun Gauntlet series. We're going to be using the M249 Saw from COD 4. We're going to be playing on the remastered version. No, not the original version, because I like that one better. There's more stuff to work towards. I like it. All right, we're going to be doing that. Tomorrow is the COD 4 M249 Saw Gun Gauntlet. And then the day after that, we will be ranking all the Need for Speed Most Wanted cars, all 37 of them, from worst to best. And then after that, for the next Call of Duty ranking video, I just ran out the script literally 2 seconds ago, and I already forgot. What was it? Oh yeah, the top 20 guns that I want to see remastered in COD history. We did that not too long ago, but with maps, and now I want to do it with the top 20 guns that I want to see remastered, that have never been remastered in COD history, at least not that I can think of. So that's what we're going to be going over, is that in a couple of days. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Short outro today, because I don't really got much else to talk to you guys about. So Das Vidania, and have a nice night.